everybody. Welcome to Green Room Talks podcast, where we inform and inspire performers. My name is Lauren Kay, and for almost 10 years, I've been performing professionally, from singing and acting to hosting and television, and I've met some amazing people along the way who have encouraged and inspired me in the green room. So that's why I decided to create this podcast. I wanted people to experience the encouragement that I had and have experienced, and some of the conversations I've had among my fellow performers. I followed myself with that. I want to talk about something that happened this week. I was reminded to get rest to be the best. So basically, it's been like a long week, but somebody was like, Lauren, you need to rest a little bit more. And I was like, you're right. Because you know what they say? If you aren't rested, your balance will be tested. Is that what they say?
It's true.
That's what they say.
That's what I say. I wrote that.
Anyway, so people who know me best know I love food. I also love cheese. This is very relevant right now. I want to tell you about what I did, okay? So this week, first of all, mistake number one, I went shopping when I was hungry. So I'm sorry. But the lady kept giving me cheese samples, and I was like, well, I'm going to have it. So I decided to give in, and I bought goat's cheese. I got sheep's cheese. I got a good mozzarella. I got some fresh French cream cheese. That's a lot of cream.
Is it here? Like, can we?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you can't. It's not here
Are we
right
going?
now.
Okay.
But my favorite was this basil Gouda that I got. And it's basil Gouda French cheese. Anyway, if anybody likes cheese like me, thanks. And so if you had to listen to episode 1 of Green Room Talks, you may recognize the voices and the laughter of these 3 beautiful people that I have with me. It's James Smart, Molly Mastrangelo, and Isaac. Hey, you guys.
Hi. Thanks for having us back.
Hey.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
Isaac just had
Too
some
much?
sushi.
A little too much? Too much cheese?
We're gonna get
He had too much cheese earlier.
That's what it is.
He had a Snickers too.
I do want to know, speaking of cheese and speaking of Snickers, not Snickers, but what is y'all's favorite cheese and how do you like to eat it?
You said we weren't talking about
I'm
anything.
sorry.
too
I just
difficult.
needed to know. I just want to know.
Probably mozzarella with tomato and basil and olive oil and sea salt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
She's
a good
Italian.
Caprese.
choice.
I really like blue cheese.
Yes. On
Controversial.
how though? Like, do you like it on a steak or do you like it on?
I like it with like crackers.
Yeah.
Is that really? That's
no,
pretty
that's it.
lame. But
no, like a good like.
a nice
crostini.
like wafer and a blue cheese.
She thinks it's hilarious.
This is why I asked you before what we were going to talk about. I would have liked to be
know.
prepared for this question.
But
I'm stopping.
But that's what you like. It's okay.
I love, yeah.
She's cracking up. What about you?
I was laughing that
Isaac?
you said wafer. What's a wafer?
What the
Like,
hell's
What's a
It's
wafer?
a chocolate filled
Cracker?
wafer with some cheese.
I know.
Like a little wafer like cracker.
I know
like
what
I know what
thin.
you
You're
mean.
so dainty.
Is that incorrect?
But
No,
we
you're
say-
probably always right. I'm wrong. I just thought it was funny.
Is it like a biscuit or is it a wafer? Because that's where.
I don't know. I'm the only Australian.
Yeah.
So,
I've never been, but
So sorry.
I need to go.
okay.
Isaac, what kind
over
of?
to you.
Oh, I just like a good goat's cheese in half an avocado with some hot sauce on there.
Wait a minute.
That's a good time.
I just eat it out the pack.
No.
But I love it on a salad, but on
Just
avocado.
stick it in the hole. Yeah.
Well, that's what I learned
Fried
today.
egg, put that
Hey,
on top.
put a fried.
Fancy.
We're getting fancy,
Yeah.
everybody. Now that we've clarified that, like clarified butter, we are gonna. So okay, I was like online the other day. Who isn't? And I saw this. This. I guess you could say a political cartoon, if you will, and 2 slides. So there's 2 men. One man says to the other, "Oh my gosh, you live in Japan?" And above his head is this like imaginary bubble of like Japanese mascots and like anime and like all this crazy stuff that people think Japan is like. The next slide, the man's like, Yeah. And above his head is like Starbucks, 7-Eleven, people walking with suits, and like nothing's going
Like
on.
building, like high rises.
Yeah, just built like
buildings.
nothing's that big. So I was like, that's kind of funny because that's how life is. Like a lot of times people are like, oh, it's gonna be like this or it must be like that, and like it's not at all how it is. So I was thinking about how people respond when you tell them I'm a performer or I'm an entertainer or I sing for a living or I act for a living or something like that, and what they think our lives are actually like. Okay. So some of the things I came up with doing a lot of research of asking people who are not performers, maybe they were 50 years or older. I don't know, cannot confirm or deny. I asked. So some of the things that I've heard, they think that we have this, I'll start off, they think that we have this luxurious, grand living life. Like, I am a singer and I arrive in my car and I am carried up the stairs. What do you think about that? That they think like our lives are grand.
What do I think about that?
There's a microphone that
I don't want to talk.
you don't want to talk about it.
I don't know. I mean, grand is so relative, right? Like, do we sometimes get rides to work? Yeah.
Yeah,
But is it? I don't know.
it's not an everyday thing.
No.
So we call a cab. We don't have a personal driver.
But I think that's like in any job or any kind of category, you're going to have some distance between the reality and what people think. Like, I don't know what a plumber's job is like. Like, it's probably a lot better than I think,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause
in our mind. Yeah,
it's
we're
good. It's
like,
probably
oh my gosh,
much better paid than we are, right?
probably,
Yeah.
and consistent work. How many times do you need to flush a toilet in your life?
So many times.
That's
Probably too
talk
many.
about job security.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Because
Right.
if we get a wrinkle,
security.
right? No, that's true.
Get a wrinkle, go to Korea.
Hey, that's true too, because they have all of the products
Everything to fix it.
and-
I guess the problem is when, people kind of think it's easy based on the assumptions that we have
Yes.
some kind of grand lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree.
Thoughts?
I don't
Swear?
know,
I think that
Jane,
just it must come from like American Idol, like people that don't perform like muggles. They watch like American Idol and they all live in this cool house together and and they get driven to work and it's
more of a
not
hustle.
as fancy. But then at the same time, like I do have a great life. Like it is fancy.
Yeah.
We do have days off and we do just shop and we do just like
Yeah.
go around and
So does an
see a
accountant.
different
So
Yeah, but specifically now, but like other times it's like I'm a bartender who sings and dances on the side.
that's true.
Or like I know when you were in New York you were working like a million jobs.
yeah.
It's a
Singing was
hustle.
like one of the it's like a hustle.
It is
Yeah.
a hustle. I think it's more of a hustle than people. I think, yeah. It's like, yes, there's grand things about it and it's cool because you get to, we have the coolest pictures on Facebook, yes. However, I think it's like, there's always a hustle. There's always a hustle to it, like behind the scenes. But, Okay, what about the fact that they think we party all the time? Like they see like a music video and they're like, that must be what it's
James,
like.
that's James.
James parties all the time.
I'm always at the club. No.
Do we party all the time?
I think performers or like artists in general have a thing with like maybe they enjoy substances sometimes a little more than other people. That's why like a lot of like famous people and famous artists like have like drug addictions or like alcoholics or whatever. For like creative people like maybe feel more. So
So you want to push it down more.
yeah, you want to numb it and
Yeah.
like whatever. Like there seems to be like a lot of substance abuse within the entertainment world for whatever reason.
Do you think that's everyone? Or do you think...
No.
No, but like, what were you going to say, Isaac?
I was just gonna say, I think at the same time, it feels like we have these kind of free lives, but we don't. Like a lot of our lives are extremely controlled. Like when our call time is, when we have to show up, how long we have to do. So then that's kind of the one thing we can control is we can just be a mess
Yeah.
on our off time. And
Yeah.
I think that's what happens a lot of times. It's just that need for control back in your life. And you're like, well, you know what? I can treat my body like crap. So
Yeah.
And artists are very like big kids, I feel. They're like, well, I'm going to stay out till 5 and then go to work at like 9. But that's fine. Like very irresponsible activity.
It's like, I think it goes either way, because there are people who are like that. They're like, I stayed out all night and I'm back in and I'm going to do some singing. And then there's other people, like for me personally, I love to go to bed and love to just not do anything. I love to just be in my room, have some downtime. I feel like for me, I give so much when I'm performing and when I'm like doing whatever. And so at the end of the day, when it's time to leave, all I can think about is not doing anything. So I don't even want to part. Like, I'm just like, let me just sit and like not, I don't know, wear shoes or something. That's like the first, literally, let me sit and not wear shoes. I'm not wearing them. I don't want to do it. But I don't know. I think there's like both. I think there's both. There's people who are like, I'm getting wasted. Yeah. And then there's also the contrast of like, we're going to be quiet.
Yeah.
Me. Molly, what are you thinking?
Oh, no, I don't. It depends on where you are. Like, it depends on where the contract is. It depends on what your life is like, you know? Like, here, it's easier to go out and and you want to.
Yeah.
You want to experience the nightlife a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. It depends.
We're also kind of expected to a little bit, right? Like, you know, nurses and teachers party, but if you see your teacher out partying, like there's a bit of a stigma.
Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong. You're like,
as opposed to performers, it's like, oh, you weren't there? Like, why weren't you there? Everyone was there. And like,
yeah,
you know, there's the opportunity to always be out every single night.
That's true. It's like almost like we're supposed to be seen out.
Yeah. That's part of the job.
I think it's like phases too.
Yeah.
Like I go through phases where I'm like, I'll go out a lot and like drink a lot and whatever. And then I go through phases where I'm just like a hermit for weeks. And I'm like, I don't want to see anyone or do anything.
I feel like I'm always a hermit.
I don't want to answer messages. Like,
No.
Yeah.
You don't.
No,
You're
I
not
don't.
gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
I'm just like, oh, I was like, so, I'm just like, I can't. Like.
So like if people think, so a lot of, I've heard also people are like, oh, like everyone must be, I don't know, on drugs for energy on stage. How are they having that much energy? What do you think about that? I know these things don't, this is just what they say. That's not what I say. How do you explain getting energy, a burst of energy from not having anything in your system when you're performing? This seems like
pride, because there's always like, I feel like some sort of need to be good. So like that burst of energy normally comes from like an ego that like you want to be good. And it's kind of, when you're a performer, like your name is kind of your reputation. So like anyone could be watching anytime.
Yes.
And see if what you're doing is not good. That's not good for you. So even if you're tired, you're like, and also really there's this thing like between performers.
I was just gonna say, especially
it's
peers.
it's like you don't want your peers to see you being lazy, because then it's like everything's about, well, for me at least, it's like a reputation thing. You don't want your reputation to be lazy.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, kind of to kind of keep going with that, it's like there are times where I get energy by seeing someone else's energy on stage. So it kind of helps out. Yeah,
and you want to be that person on the other side too. Like, right?
Yes, yeah. I know. I don't want to.
And you want to be the one sometimes to. This is kind of veering away more and more from what you said, but like you want to be someone who gives energy to other people on stage.
Yeah.
Like if they see you, like, you know, bringing whatever to the stage, they want to do the same thing.
I think whoever you are as a person is just going to carry into whatever you're doing at that moment as a job, right? So even if you're bartending or if you're, you know, whatever you're doing, you're going to be doing it the same way, I think.
No, I'm a terrible bartender. I would like slam drinks down. I was like, I don't want to be doing this.
And you're a terrible dancer. That's what
I know. I need to go into another industry.
No, not true. No, but I get it. I don't know. I think like, okay. I want to know about like energy wise when you're on stage and there's an unexplained adrenaline rush that happens at the same time amongst everyone. Let me explain what's happening. How do you think, like, what do you think about that? Like, how do you explain that energy feel? Do you think like, hey, that's where the cast has to be connected as people? Or is it like that's just what happens on stage when you're performing?
It's definitely a connection. Like, I feel like if you don't feel that connection, you're not gonna all come up together. Yeah, you're in it together. You're connecting. Yeah,
like the vibe backstage, like how things were backstage. Like some days, like everyone's really tired, or like whatever, they went out the night before.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, like sometimes it'll be like the best show ever on stage because everyone just pulls some energy out of somewhere.
There's some creativeness, I think, when people are exhausted. I don't know why. Like, if you stay up all night for whatever reason, everybody has to be in that same boat. And you're like, I can't. But for some reason, it's like the best experience and the best show. And it's like amaze cats or amaze balls.
Yeah, it's like the fight. Like the fight to be good.
It is a good thing. Okay, so I just want to, there's like one more. What about... because I want to get to the good stuff. What do you think about when they say it's just a job and these people have nothing else going on for themselves other than just performing and just their talent?
That'd be right.
That is
Absolutely
not true.
Correct.
That's not true.
That is, I agree with you.
So you guys have nothing else to offer?
No, nothing to offer the world but this. Not even kidding.
That is not true.
No, like people will be like doing like simple math equations and I'll be like what is that? And they'll be like, James. I'm like, literally all I'm good at is performing.
So like, what about anything you create? Like, so James had an I just made that up. So when was your show that you created?
February.
Last year. February
28th.
Wow. February 28th of 2016.
This year, 17. Yeah, it was like 6 months ago. Whenever.
That's when I wasn't here.
Is that really? Okay, so it was one of the most.
Isaac was in it. You were meant to be in it.
I was meant to be in it, and I saw
scheduling
it. And I was like,
got in the way.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
Can you show us what?
What did you do?
Did you go through rehearsals?
I didn't dance. Everyone calm down.
Well, you did a little ditty, so we know that, and it was great. So with your show, what about what you made people feel? So like, yeah, maybe it's performing or creating, but what about you as a person creating feeling and inspiration for others?
What about it?
What about it? Does that count?
As
something outside of performing.
Yeah. So it's like using performing.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of just normally do things like that to push myself. And if people enjoy it, that's like an added bonus. But also, yeah, I think there's definitely, what I said before, it's like a bit of an ego thing. You're like, well, it's my name. So like something attached to my name, for me, I'm like, it has to be good. So that's where a lot of the creativity drives from.
So what about though, like if like you were like, oh, somebody's doing a math problem, and then what if they're like, all I can do is math, I'm not good for anything? Is that the same? Or do you think
that's true or not? No, what is it? There's like some saying, I don't know who said it, it's a quote, and it's like, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree or something, it'll, I don't know, something like, damn it, I don't remember it.
No, I get it.
That's good.
It's some quote about like appreciating what you have to offer, but if you focus on things you can't do, you'll feel like a moron all the time.
No, that makes sense.
People out there are being like, you idiot. This is the quote.
No, it's like, no, it's basically saying like what your capabilities are. It's what you're able to do.
Strengths.
Yeah, focus on your strengths. How about I focus on my language today? Because apparently it's not happening. No, but I understand. Okay. Yeah. So you think like if someone's like, oh, that's all they're good for, it's just get up there and sing me a song.
I think people think it's easy. I definitely, like, people will see the amount of hours on paper we do or something and equate that. It's like, oh, that's easy. And it's like, well, easy comes in many different packages, and so does difficult.
Yeah. I mean, No, I understand. I think like maybe it's not considered as to what happens outside of the hours on the paper.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like I have a kind of stigma against being like, I'm a performer, because it's just, you're James Smart.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well then what is their job? Then you can emotionally communicate through your body and the voice in a Like, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you distill it down to like, okay, what's your actual essence and what your ability to give? And you've just ended up channeling it into this career that is music theater, or like.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because any job you're going to do, you're going to be still the person you are.
Exactly. It's just the job. But it's like, it's almost like it'll come out. It'll come out like with whatever you do. Accounting, math, all that jazz. It keeps coming up. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Let me go be an accountant.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like, yeah, for the people who are kind of in it, there's not really much else we can do. Like, I don't.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. It's just
you can
talents.
do a million things.
Yeah.
And it's annoying.
Not
Why?
very well.
Is there like a bullying coming on? Like,
This is-
it's a lot of time.
What?
No, but
Do you want me to say all the things that you can do?
Let's list them off.
No.
I mean, like, but
What
I think
can't he
like
do?
they will come out like regardless. So like if you're someone who you'll find a way to be creative and find a way to think outside of the box in another kind of way, you know. I'm just surprised as to how thought-provoking all of this seems, because you guys are in a place right now and it's kind of
Yeah, it's like
calming.
she's like, can you speak more? No,
I just wonder.
No, what was I gonna say? I think like if you have like if I thought I was gonna do something else, I wouldn't be like half as passionate about what I'm doing. But I'm like wholeheartedly focused on like what I do. So if someone, well, people always say to performers, they're like, well, what's your backup plan when you can't do it anymore? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'll find a way to do it.
Yeah.
I'll do something.
Yeah, you'll
that's
find a way to
related
be
this.
involved.
Yeah.
So why do it in the first place, though? Why do we do what we do?
I don't know. I don't know what else I would be doing.
Yeah. Somebody has to
I
do
love it. I love to sing. I love to perform.
Mm-hmm.
I like to sing stuff that I want to sing a little bit more than what, sometimes you get into, but it's because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just love doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I've literally, that's what I mean. I'm like, what else would I be doing? Because like, this is what I think about all the time.
Why is there such a
Yes.
need for it? Why is there such a need to have that?
So I was thinking about this
Really?
the other day. Yeah, and I was thinking like humans are just kind of pretty useless on the planet. Like we could be eradicated and everything would be fine.
It would still go on.
Like it would be much better. I was like, well then what the heck are we doing? Like why are we here? And I was like, wait. I was like, maybe we're the only kind of animal that can create art. So I'm like, maybe that's just what we're supposed to do. Is like facilitate an environment and society and the space in which certain people can keep creating art and advance. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
No,
got to be something important in that.
But it's like, yeah, I know like people want to be like, oh, like, I don't, and no offense, sorry. Like if someone's vegan, they're like, I don't want, because we're the same, I'm not going to eat them and don't hurt them and stuff. But if you think about like, why are we able to create and why are we able to think of and think up of the things that we do? And then why do we do it for each other?
I mean, there's obviously those fish that like create those beautiful spirals on the ground to like attract their mates,
Yeah.
but there's still, right? Like there is.
Yeah. There's
but,
like other, yeah.
But we do it a lot more varied and a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Because
art is here to make you think. It's to make you think about something you never thought of. It's to teach you empathy. It's to teach you the other side of things. It's to teach you beauty when you didn't see it. It's to teach you different forms of art as well. Like not just singing, not just,
So are you guys teachers, and like are we all in a sense teachers and explaining things? Because if we're supposed to be expressing something through creating like a dance piece or through a song or through all of the things that Isaac can do, if we're supposed to do that and do that for people, maybe someone who's like, I had a hard time with my family, and then you sing a song about getting through something. It's like, so I don't know. I don't want us to feel like literally that's all we're good, because it's like that's a big deal for us to have to carry that on. It's like it's weird because I think we can do that, and yeah, we may need a drink after work, but it's like we just in 3.5 minutes explain someone's whole life situation, and we're able to express it.
and maybe without knowing it or being
Not even knowing it.
Yeah.
we were those fish that created the circle of life. Yeah.
I like that. Thinking about
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know. That's what I think.
And people also think that like maybe sometimes what we do is maybe insignificant or doesn't really give back to the world or
I'm
something.
sure you have, right? Like
Yeah, sometimes I feel very selfish to like be in this industry because it's like a good life, and it's very rewarding and like it feeds you a lot. But then you think about the amount of joy the world gets and entertainment the world gets from like TV, movies, like going to see shows, like, and that wouldn't happen without
Us.
people providing it. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And it's like there's an importance. I don't know. It's like, it's like the first time you've maybe seen like your favorite musical, or you heard that song, or you heard that album that you were like, this changed my life.
Yeah.
Like
I
if
said
they're
on
like
Facebook the other day, I was like, if I didn't have music, I would literally kill everyone.
that's great.
Because I would. Like when I walk down the street, I don't have my headphones. I'm like, should I go on 7-Eleven and like buy some? It's boring. Like,
Yeah. You're like, I can't deal
So
with
I just deleted his iTunes account and waited.
You're like, get it again.
just watch the world burn.
It's like, what's wrong with James? It's his music. It's not
his
there.
music.
It's gone. Yeah, no, but I don't know. I just think like, there's probably, I think there's more credit to be given to people who step on a stage, getting paid or not, So it's pretty deep.
I was thinking before about like, we're talking about ability and our ability to not do anything else. It's like, well, passion, versus ability. So say you're, speaking to a kid who's like 13 years old and not very good, but super into it. Like, what do you tell that person? I don't know.
It's like if they love it, is that good enough?
Right. Maybe.
Maybe.
You got anything over there?
Molly's enjoying it.
Well, I don't know. That's heavy. That's a heavy thing to. What do you mean? I don't know. Training and wait for it. 13's young. I don't know.
18?
Like, are you realistic with
30?
people? If someone's like, I really want to sing and I really want to dance, and you're like, oh, but are you realistic? Or are you like, you know what? You keep taking lessons. Like, what do you say to someone who's not like maybe with as much potential that?
I guess it's like, what do you want to say? What do you love? Bigger questions.
I'd probably be like, I would like try and be constructive and be like, yeah, you should go for it and work on this. But maybe more subtly just feed that into the conversation and be like, if you want to like work on that, that might be like great for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
People probably want to tell me that. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I've had to do that sometimes where there's maybe been someone who's like, I really want to sing, but then they like, maybe, just keep taking but you do it because you love it. You love it and just do what you love. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so we were kind of talking about stuff about what people think with performers. What I want to know is, maybe this won't be as deep because I feel like I dug deep with you guys.
Sorry,
you guys we went in with that.
We're like, mellow.
I hope y'all don't go home and you're like, just thinking about. I want to know if you. Okay, so I want to know what things you guys hear sometimes from people. Like, let's see, how do I phrase this? What are the questions we have, I should say, for people who don't do what we do every day? Like, example number 1. If you say, I sing for a living, like I get a paycheck to take care of myself, that's how I eat. And you're in a grocery store and they say, oh, you're a singer. Well, can you sing something for me? Have you ever heard that before? Or somebody just being yeah.
Tons of times.
Yeah.
Please perform for me. Like
right now in the store.
Yeah.
So what?
Super awkward.
My
Very
parents
awkward.
will do it. They'll like have friends at the house. Like when I'm back in Australia, sometimes they'll be like, "James, sing." I'm like, "No."
Like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, actually, family's the worst.
Family
Family
does it all
is the
time.
word. They abuse it, and then when you'll be like, "Oh, I'm not doing that." They're like, "Oh, what? You need to get paid?"
Yeah, and
You're like, yes.
you're like, I just actually don't want to.
Slip me a 50. Yeah.
Yeah, but like one time I heard someone say, like, I don't get that because it's like, if you're like, oh, I'm a doctor, it's like, oh, can you operate on my arm? And it's like, what Why do they ask us to do that?
No, but it would be like, oh, can you take a look at this really quick?
Yeah, that's true. Oh,
Right.
like, hey, doc, I've been having this such and such
Yeah.
problem.
No.
Could be the same.
So
I
was-
dated like a doctor for a little bit, and I did that in another way. I was like,
Are you
tell
sure
me
he was a
everything.
doctor?
Really?
I mean, I don't know. He was doing a medical check on me. No, no, and I was like, tell me everything. Like, I was like asking so many questions. So I feel like in a way that was the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, do you deal with like crazy people?
So I
He's
guess it
like,
depends.
Yeah. And I was like, tell me. So I guess it's the same.
But the
It
funny
could
thing
be.
is like those same people would be like, so when are you gonna like get a real job? But perform for me. But like, when are you gonna get a real job?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what's that?
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. It's like it's like just because you're not getting paid for it at the moment.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, and people always say like, they'll be like, so when's your next show? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
I have no idea. When
You-
you
we
have
maybe?
one for me. I know.
But hypocritically, we were on the street the other day and we bumped into a magician and instantly asked him to do magic. Remember that?
Did he have cards with
he
him? Like what?
approached us,
No,
actually.
he approached us, but he didn't want to do magic necessarily.
I think.
But
I
did
think
he have
did.
cards ready to do
He
the
had them
There was
ready.
cards. There was
This was an
cards.
interesting version of what happened. I think he wanted to do it. I think he approached and he wanted to. Well, he was promoting. He was promoting a show.
So wait, did he? So he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just," and then you're like, "Oh, can you do some magic for me?"
I think neither of us really remember too much.
It's that
'Cause
going
we
out at
already-
it's going out at night kind of performer thing.
It's kind of the same.
But I did feel like, dang, we just like getting this guy to dance like we get asked to.
That's true.
Something else people say a lot is like, they're like, oh, you performer, like you must all like sleep with each other.
That's actually
What?
one of the things that. Yeah.
Yes.
This is something.
Is that
I've,
not true?
No,
Tell me it's not true.
it's not true.
I
Tell
don't
me
think
you're
that's-
not
No one's
dating a
ever asked
performer
me that,
in your
ever.
cast right now.
Let me tell
No,
you
but
something.
we're not.
Tell me you
Everyone,
haven't
everyone
ever-
is not cross.
The
like,
green room I'm in. I guess.
Listen,
Okay, but not the whole cast. It's not like everyone is like, "Wah,"
No,
and then you
no.
go out and you're like,
no.
lifting your hands up. But no, I've heard that. I've heard that where
All the
people
time.
people think that everyone is just like sleeping with everybody.
Yes.
But they are.
I disagree.
I don't think so. But tell me,
That's just you, obviously.
Well, okay, you take a school
Okay.
and you have one teacher in a relationship with another teacher, and that's a huge deal.
Uh-huh.
You take a cast of, I mean, there's like 100, there's a lot of people. But like, and if you have multiple relationships, it's not weird. I'm not saying everyone's like getting all crazy. I'm just saying that there's more cast relationships in this job than there would be in any other
No, we're
field.
not talking about relationships, though.
No, just sleeping
You're
with
just
each
talking
other.
about-
Yes. I mean, I sleep with everyone,
Everyone's
but
so
that's just me.
good looking, all the dancers and all the so I guess that's what they're
Everybody.
assuming.
yeah, they probably are assuming like, oh,
Yeah.
like
Like
I
all these
think
fit people who are
that's what I would think. I'm trying to think of outside of
Yes.
the box because it's kind of hard. Like, I was trying to just think of outside of the box, like what people, and that's why I had to ask the crew, the sources. But I think that I've heard
sources.
before, like people think like everyone is so fit and everyone looks like a magazine cover and everyone da 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 da.
And
So they
everyone's away
must-
from their family, and everyone's
Yeah.
missing someone and
Yeah.
needing that connection.
They think that.
right?
They
It's
think
true.
that part's true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So okay, with being away from family and all that stuff, that being very hard and difficult. So like, yeah, I guess that's where it does come in. That kind of goes back to people maybe just dealing with things differently. If you are a person who's like, yeah, I'm lonely and it sucks, but I'm just gonna like chill by myself, I'm not gonna get wasted. Then there's people who maybe are like, I can't take this. Nah, drugs, pills, alcohol. I don't know. Yeah, it depends on the person.
Depends on the personality. Exactly.
Yeah, personality too. Yeah, everybody's different.
It's also like emotionally, I feel draining to like, because no matter what happens like within your day and your personal life, you have to like get on stage and smile.
We said that the first, like, yeah, we said that. I think we were saying that, like, about no matter what, you're like,
Yeah,
Oh.
you're going through a breakup, like someone's passed away, like you have fighting with someone, might be someone in the cast who you have to get on stage and like smile and
Yeah.
be like, hey, like.
But that's every job. That's every job.
To an extent, but if you're going through a hard time at a job where you sit at an office, you can sit there and cry onto your paper or like, I don't know.
Everyone writes
No
with
more
a quill.
tears on the
Like
paper.
no one's
We
on
can
computer to
Katy
change.
Perry it and
Everyone's
cry
like,
backstage. But
You can sit at your computer and just
ink and
yeah, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's so much harder for us, but it's like the emotional extremes.
But
I'm bowing out.
if somebody put it in the job description, like, okay, when you go on an audition for a show and they're like, we're looking for this, and you'll get paid this, and you're going to be living here. And you're like, oh yeah. What if they put like emotional distress, away from family, difficult times, tears, but you must still go on stage? Like, like those things, like, why do we do that? Why do we know, we've been in it long enough where we know, we're like, oh, okay, like, is it more worth it, like, to just see the other plus side of things of knowing, like, I love it so much that I'm just gonna still get through that emotional stress?
yeah, because what's the alternative? Like not? Like that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seems I think like I think what I'm asking is, it seems so like, well, duh, but it's kind of like, that's why it's like people who don't know really what we go through, for us, we're like, well, that's just our reality. So a lot of this is just like, this is what we deal with all of the time, and this is just how we are. But like, there is kind of this like, wait a minute, that's not how it is, and then it's like not that easy. So
But it's not their responsibility to care. Like if I go in with my arm bleeding and the doctor's like, oh man, I just had a breakup, like I just went through a divorce right now, and I'm like, oh, my arm's bleeding.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's like,
True.
I can't put that on the audience and be like, you should care about my emotional well-being. It's like, no.
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind of the same
you're
thing.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like they're kind of performing too. They're not. It's not just like, it's not about, that is a form of it. It's like we said, we're like, oh, can you have a look at that doctor? It's like the doctor has a performance as well. They can't come in the room like, I'm pissed, open your mouth, and it's like, what the yeah.
But they do, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, you kind of are the person you are, no matter what vocation you're involved in.
How do you stay? How do you stay in who you are wherever you are?
That's a good question. But no answer.
Yeah.
It's a great question. I'm leaving.
How do you what? How do you stay?
How do you stay who you are wherever you are?
Wherever you are. I mean, you
gotta true to yourself.
Yeah, you got to know yourself. You got to dig deep, spend time with yourself, and
And you got to know people who know you and keep in contact with
kind
them.
of like keep yourself grounded.
have your home base. Have your like at home. Yeah.
And that's
Have
why
your-
it's important to do like what you say you love to do, and come home and like chill and shut the world out, so you can just be like,
Who am I?
I'm not gonna like pick up on everyone else's energy. I'm just gonna focus in on me and how I feel, and yeah, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But I have a question. We're so used to like this kind of like use, be used, next contract, slough it off. Like, how do you keep those people close to you in your life when you know those contracts or those, you know,
that relationships are
it's
so
gonna end.
temporary.
Yeah.
I'm still friends with people that I was working with here in 1942. Like I don't want to really say. I'm still friends with them. So you just you do, and when you do keep in touch, then you know those are the people. Those are your people. You know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But it takes effort to do that. But it's like dealing with.
And who likes effort?
We're tired.
I'm not doing it. No, but I think like, yeah, it's like there's this whole, how do you get close? How close can you get to people, but you know it's going to end. But then again, if they're going to last, and you know, like, you know what? You're worth it.
Do you guys have really close performer friends that you've kept from
Yeah.
performing? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, me too.
Yeah. After this,
we're not talking.
we're not going
I'm
to
like-
talk to Isaac.
He doesn't know our
Not going to
names.
invest
Do you guys,
anymore.
'cause I'm not talking to y'all
'Cause
anymore.
we've
That's
all
it.
in
agreed on
April.
that.
Yeah.
He's like, who's Molly? I think she was in that podcast. She
Is
barely
it Molly?
Mary? It might be Mary.
Mary? Molly? Maggie. It's like-
Maggie.
Maggie. Yeah. No, I think we do. But it is like, it's like there's sometimes where I think from place to place that you go, there are a certain group of people who, like, literally maybe 2 or 3 that you're like, I'm gonna keep in touch with you. And also that even if you don't keep in touch, it's not like it's a big deal. You could pick off where you left off.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Pick up where you left off.
Pick
You
off
did.
where
It's
you
not
did.
important.
There, I don't.
Pick off.
You could pick off where you left off.
Yeah, that's with every job, and it's what you choose to do, and it's who you choose to invest in, and what you want to do. I think it's healthy to make friends and to learn from people and to have relationships, even if they are short. I think that's okay.
Yes.
And I've become like comfortable with that. I used to be like, it's forever, and it's like, no, like you just have to learn something from that person, and that's what's cool about what we do. We get to travel and we get to meet people from different countries and different walks of life, and
get to be close in ways that, wouldn't happen normally.
yeah.
Is that where like the
Yeah.
inspiration comes from? Like just kind of the different people you meet and the different energies you get from, like, do you think that maybe that's why we're so unique? Because we do get to see like
Deeper into
different,
people.
deeper into people in a short amount of time. It's like
In a
crash
short amount of
course.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just have to like, we're like, oh, that's how this person is. It's interesting because you see a bunch of different kinds of people come together in one place. It's like you have an opportunity to kind of like, I don't know what you would call that. Like if you did not people research, what is that? Like if you're people research, we'll call
Like
it
anthropology.
anthropology.
Right, the study of,
Yeah.
Isn't that?
So yeah, this is a store, right? No, that's not. No, it's like, yeah, it's like you get to see how so many people are, and then kind of grab from that. So like if there's a time where you have to relate to something, then you can be like, I knew this person. Let me.
But I often have to remember that we're getting such a specific slice of the kind of human pie, right, that we're looking at. Even though we meet this like huge amount of people and we get to know them on such an intimate level, I'm like, oh wait, that experience is still like this tiny sliver of what.
It's small. It seems like our world is so big, but it's like.
I think that's okay, right?
No,
Like, I
that
think
is
that's-
okay. But then I worry like that the art that we create, it becomes just like narrow based on
Where we are.
our exposure.
Yeah. And then I guess that's where like the whole people in and out of your life and you in and out of people's lives comes. It gets kind of hard, but that's all right, everybody, right?
Yeah, because I'm older. I think it's beautiful now. I think it's awesome. I think I would prefer it. I'd rather have good experiences in a small amount of time and meet new people and meet those people and learn from them than to not. And
No,
to
I
have-
love it.
Yeah.
But do you think it's important to dip back into like civilian life?
Yeah, sometimes I want to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to. Sometimes I wonder if I were to. This. I'm like thinking about what I'm about to say, but sometimes I do think about what if I went another way and I didn't live my life being, I don't want to say a spectacle, but if I didn't have like my life being so much about like me, what if I went in the middle of like, I don't know, Minnesota, and I worked at a convenience store, like of a town, and I was there and like I knew the same customers that came in every time, and I knew when everyone's birthday was, and I knew like, I don't know, like Mr. Jenkins down the street just got another fence up. I don't know who talks like that, but yeah, it's like, it's like I think about like what if, that kind of what if thing, like what if my life was so like, well, every year we hold the festival at this time, like, but for us it's like it's always changing, but we're just so used to it.
Yeah, it's like people be like, so what's your normal work schedule? I'm like, oh, like it changes every day.
And you have no control.
Every week. Yeah.
Does that get hard, like, or do you think sometimes like the no control thing can I think as a human being get to you, because we know we don't have control over our lives, but sometimes if it gets too much where someone's like, you cannot do that, it's like, it like eats you up inside.
It's yeah, that
It's
part
hard.
is really.
I don't think it ever
difficult.
gets. We're all like, yeah, yeah, and I think that's where like I think for me,
Depending
I get,
on where you work and
Yeah.
where you perform,
Yeah.
there are varying levels of control.
yeah, and it just depends. But I think like that's where, again, kind of like what we were saying, where outside of work, maybe that's why like we try to take control in different ways. So it's like, okay, you're telling me what time I have to come. There's a gnat in the room. I just got so distracted. That was so easy. I was like, sometimes gnat. Like no, sometimes like if people are like, I don't know, you can or can't do this or that, and then it's like I feel like there is something about me wanting to take control. I think that's why I like to be. I'm like, let me be in my room and I don't have to do anything. Taking a stand on
Yeah.
it.
Well, that's
without
also like
shoes.
recharging yourself too. I think
Yeah.
that's a smart thing. Like Dean touched on that one. Like you have to take care of yourself
Yeah.
before you can like and be what everyone else wants you to be at what time.
That's true.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just tickled as to how composed we are this this time around.
Super chill.
As soon as this camera cuts off, it's about to go down. I know that.
The shots are just out of frame.
They look so good.
Can't see them. I can smell them.
It's like
No, these are all just
Just
things that
another
really
night.
make you think. Like
They
you
yeah.
know, and it's get the gnat. Get it.
Isaac's trying to get this gnat.
I see him too.
I thought I could be cool. Thought I wouldn't be distracted by it, but
No, I was trying.
You get some
It's like
chopsticks
so-
out. You're like,
You would be able to do that. There we go again. It's like that.
you can do so many.
can we
things.
name him Mr. Jenkins? There he is.
The gnat has something.
This is
to
perfect.
say.
And that was like, this is boring.
Let me
jump
Sam sent him, the
I know.
producer. He was like,
He was like,
sending the gnats.
Sam the producer.
Sending the gnats.
Sending the gnats. Sending the gnats.
Release
Is that
the
a
gnat.
song? Sending the gnat. Why did the gnat just like give us so much joy? It's like
I don't know.
there's inspiration.
I keep putting my arm up and like I'm like sweating, so I'm gonna put it back down.
How'd you
I didn't need to.
let him see you work.
Can't need to say that.
let him see you work.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, as thought provoking as this was,
I think it's very self-reflective. This
It's
this
very
conversation,
self-reflective.
right?
She's like, everyone get out because I need to recharge.
I'm gonna cry in the corner. No, I didn't expect to go this deep because I was just kind of thinking of it as like, that's funny. People think this, but it's like, wait, actually, there is a lot that like from maybe both sides that are misunderstood, and I kind of wish like I could have somebody else who's not in that kind of performing side.
But even think of a job that you maybe haven't had or wanted to have or don't want to have. Like you're gonna have stigma about that. Like in the performing industry, like
Yeah.
right, like we have stigma against other types of jobs as well.
Yeah, that's true.
The
What is
gnat?
it?
What?
Was it the gnat?
It was the
armpit,
gnat.
your gnat
It
one.
was the
It was the gnat. I thought you were feeling what he just said.
I was like, yeah, connection.
Yeah, it's all very self-reflective. So I hope everyone reflects on this. I want everyone to know something. If you are having a group of people over and everyone's in a deep conversation, you're like, man, I don't want everybody to be so sad. Just bring a gnat in the room, and I guarantee
There he is.
the party will be started. Anyway, you guys.
Let's get it started.
How? Right?
Are we gonna sing?
No, we don't have to sing
Oh, we
this
don't have
time.
to
We already warmed up, but
Yeah.
nah, we don't need
No,
to sing.
let's give the people what they want.
Yeah, tap dance for grandma.
Yeah.
You're a singer.
You a
sing.
singer, right? Sing something.
Sing something now.
You want to
Sing
sing?
something.
in the convenience store in Minnesota.
Come on, yeah, yes.
Yeah, my
what-
grandma
Sing for
baked
Mr.
something.
Jenkins and his
Come on,
new
bake
fence.
something.
Bake something right
What
now,
if you
Grandma.
did?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, Grandma. Why don't you bake me
She's
a cake?
like, I have for the last 30 years.
like, oh. And then you self-reflect again.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Well, anyway, you guys know, really thank you for coming again. This was very reflective. Like, I actually feel like I just need to go upstairs and have some cheese.
Because you have so much cheese waiting for you.
I feel very emotional right now. Like, this is I really do. No, but thank you guys for coming and
Thank you for
joining
having us.
me
Thank
on the
you.
couch and in the seat with your headphones. Thank you, Nat.
Thank
He's
you,
left
Nat,
now.
for being here.
He's left
Thank you.
now. But for everyone listening, thank you again for listening. I hope you follow me on Instagram and Facebook at I am Lauren K, because I am. It's not just a suggestion. I am. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am Lauren K, because I am. I upload every episode of this podcast on there. And soon there will be some other content. So we're probably going to be doing some work in the next few weeks, but we'll see. We're going to be doing some things. So please subscribe. I'm very excited and all that jazz. Please self-reflect on yourself and what you just heard, because there's a lot. But once again, thank you so much for listening. My name's Lauren Kay. Here's James, Molly, and Isaac sitting in the chairs watching the days go by.
It's Lauren Kay. That's all.
Oh,
You got something. I know you got something.
going.
I know you have something.
No, I don't.
Come on. What about you, Nat? That's the end.
Thanks for listening.